Hello student, welcome to the third video of political science, that is power sharing, first chapter of class 10 political science. In the last two videos I told you about the Belgium's ethnic composition, then I told you about the Sri Lanka's ethnic composition, how Sinhalas were there, Tamilians were there. Tamilians were also of two types. First, the natives of that Sri Lanka who used to speak Tamil, and few Indians which were taken by the colonial companies to Sri Lanka, and they worked in the gardens, and they were the workers who has taken by these people. So how did they manage to accommodate the diversity? What they did, Sri Lanka, it got independence in 1948, and they started making policies so that they can live peacefully and they can do the development in their country. So what they did, they started a new policy. They they followed a policy which is known as majoritarianism. Means, what does that mean? What does this term means? As a name, major means who are more in number, who are in majority. These people were given the power, and the people who were not in majority, who were in minority, they were suppressed by the majority. As it says, and it is in your book and very important for 1 marks, a belief that the majority community should be able to rule a country in whichever way it wants, by disregarding the wishes and needs of the minority. Means, see, there we saw that the French understood things. They respected the feelings of the Dutch, and the Dutch also, on the other hand, they also understood that French are important, equally important, and so they were giving respect to their presence also. But here, on the contrary, on the, what you can say, not like Belgium, the majoritarians, the people who are more in number, they were given all the powers. All the powers were in the hands of the Sinhalas. So what happened? Sinhalas started taking the power in their hand, misusing the power so that everywhere they can have a win-win position. The leaders of the Sinhala community sought to secure dominance. As a result, the democratically elected government adopted series of majoritarian steps. In 1956, an act was passed to recognize Sinhala as the official language. See, language, I told you in the last video, language is very, very important. Suppose you go somewhere and you are not allowed to speak your language. You have been prohibited that you cannot speak your language. You will never, even though you are given, they are giving you all the pleasures of life, all the facilities, but if you are not allowed to speak your language or do your religious practices, you won't be happy there. That's why we have a secular country. Means, all the independence on the basis of religion we have given, because we understood religion is very, very important, language is very, very important. So here what they did, Sinhala language was declared as the official language. Means all the official work will be done in Sinhala language. Tamil was not seen as an official language. No importance was given to the Tamil language. Then what happened? The government followed preferential policies. What are preferential policies? Means some communities were given preference, and preference was given to the Sinhalas, not the Tamilians. In colleges, in offices, in working places, they were given, policies were made so that these people only get admissions, these people only get jobs, and that was hurting the Tamilians, the Tamil group. Preferential policies that favored Sinhala, that applicants for university and government job. A new constitution stipulated that the state shall protect and foster Buddhism. I told you the Sinhalas people were mainly used to follow Buddhism, and foster means when you make policies, when means you brought a child and taking care of that. That is a message of foster, meaning of foster. So what they did, they made policies so that Buddhism could be spread, Buddhist people could practice whatever religious practices they are having, and Hinduism and Muslim communities, Hindus was not given priority, Muslim communities were ignored. So it was like one-sided, means one group was imposing their wishes on the minority group, and they were suppressed and they were very very angry. None of the major political parties led by the Buddhist Sinhala leaders sanctioned or favored the Tamilians. So suppression always brings destruction. That we have seen in class 9 also. Means if you go to history, any part, any point of time, you will find that if majority or group of people suppress the feelings, the demands, the wishes of the people, it always result in destruction, and that has happened here also. As a result, the relations strained over time, relations become very bitter. And what happened? The Sri Lankan Tamilians launched parties and struggled for the recognition of Tamil as an official language. See, language, religion, practices, customs are very very important. So first thing they demanded, Tamil should be recognized as an official language. Areas where these Tamilians are living, at least in that parts, Tamil should be declared as the official language. Then for recognition, autonomy, equality in jobs and education, here preferential policies. Due to preferential policies, education, universities, job vacancies were quite alike reserved for the Sinhala. So they asked for these. They should also be given some preference so that they can also join good university. They can also work in the offices and be prosperous, be educated. Then what happened? But these people, the Sinhalas, were having this, that they are in majority and they should have a right, and they are having the right, so they are suppressing. So things become bitter, things become worse, and they started demonstrating civil war. It resulted into civil war. Civil war means when the civilian, there is a battle, war-like condition between the civilians, the citizens of the country. So that has happened, and that dragged Sri Lanka into different kind of miseries and problem. It could not develop. Although Belgium, if we compare Belgium and Sri Lanka could have progressed more than Belgium, but it could not, because they were not able to accommodate their ethnic, linguistic, religious diversity. So after the if you compare, we can understand it is very very important to give power to every ethnic group, religious group, linguistic group, and this is called power sharing. When every community, every pressure group, every political party, every linguistic group is given power, so that they feel that yes, they also belong to the same country the other majority group is belonging to. So they started asking for Tamil state, Tamilalam, and also in some parts, like in northern and eastern part of Sri Lanka, civil war broke down and they wanted to be recognized. Okay, so in the next, with after the study of the first and second case study of Belgium and Sri Lanka, what we have concluded and how it is related to the power sharing, I'll tell you in the fourth video. Thank you.